Hello, and on this video we'll look at shooting the asteroids and then making the asteroids split. So we've already got it, so if we shoot a single asteroid it will vanish. What we want is when you shoot an asteroid it splits into, say, two smaller asteroids, and then you shoot those, it splits into two smaller asteroids, and then we'll say the next level, when you shoot it, it vanishes. You could change it up so it's doing all sorts of different things, but we'll go for that for now. Anything else you want to add is up to you. Now, the way which I've approached it is to have three different images of asteroids. So I've got our normal asteroid, a slightly smaller asteroid, and an even smaller asteroid. If I just show you my files quickly, there we go. So there is our normal asteroid, then we got a slightly smaller asteroid, and then a smaller asteroid again, and then it will vanish. I have seen versions where it will just have the one asteroid, then when you shoot it it will create the same asteroid but smaller, so you can quite easily do scale of the asteroid and then just make it so it's a smaller and smaller and smaller asteroid. Right, if we have a look at our code, so this is our asteroid class, and this is where most of the stuff will be happening. Let's make that a little bit bigger. So we've got all our stuff in there, and we've got hit there. So this is what happens when you hit an asteroid. So we'll keep the print in, we'll keep the kill in, but what we want to do is when we hit an asteroid it will create two other asteroids and then it will vanish. So create two asteroids and then self.kill is still there. Okay, so how do we create two other asteroids? Well, we've already done it. So in the game, we created an asteroid with that code. So let's just put that in. Okay, is that all good? Well, asteroid equals asteroid, yep, that's good. Self.allSprites. Now this allSprites isn't in self, it's in game. So what we did last time was for the ship, we passed game into the ship so that was able to manipulate it. And that's exactly what we need to do here. So we want to also have game. And if we go down to here, we had ship with self, we want asteroid with self. So now when we create the asteroid, likewise there we'll have to pass it in, but we've got game, we need to store that somewhere. There we go. So we stored that in self.game. Now when we create an asteroid, it needs to have the game in the brackets, which is stored in self.game. AllSprites isn't in self, it's in self.game.allSprites, likewise with the asteroid sprites. Now this should work. It will create two more asteroids. So it will create one more asteroid. We can duplicate it to do it twice. Okay, let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, before I do that, I did change the image name to asteroid 2. So let's have a look, see what that does. So you got the asteroid, we shoot it once, and then you've got another one started back from that point. Okay, that isn't quite what we want to happen. We want it to spawn from that point, and also we want it to get smaller. So let's have a look at getting smaller each time. So in order to get smaller, we need to tell the asteroid when we create it, it needs to be a size smaller. So what we can do is have size as part of the arguments which get passed in. So now, if size is 2, we can say, okay, make a new asteroid with self.size -1. So then it will create an asteroid which is 1 smaller. You know what, I don't like this repeated code. There we go. It will just do that twice. And if we wanted to change that, that would be really nice and easy, but we've got no repeated code, so there's less chance of errors. Okay, so now that's going to make size 1 smaller. Now we could go down to where we're creating the asteroid, right back down in the game class when we're creating the fresh asteroids, and set the size. So we'll always create one with a certain size. However, what we can also do is say equals 2, and that means if size isn't given, it will be size 2. Now, what you'll notice rather cunningly is size 2 asteroid is normal, size 1 is smaller, size 0 is the smallest. So if I replace that number with self.size, then that will get the right image. Now this will almost work, however size is an integer and you can't add strings in integers, so we just need to convert it to a string. So now it will load the image asteroid, whatever size it is, .png. Let's have a quick look at that. So we shoot it, it then gets smaller, we shoot it again, it gets smaller again. We shoot it again and not a lot happens. Okay. This is looking good so far. Now, creating 2 asteroids. Do we want to create 2 asteroids all the time? No, I'd say that we only want to do it when the size is actually greater than 0. So if self.size is greater than 0, then we want to create the asteroids. That will mean that it won't keep creating it infinitely. Okay, we got that sorted so far. What we now need to do is make sure that the asteroid spawns from the right place. And we've got size coming in. What we can also do, whoops, is put in position. Now we can either put these arguments in the right place, and I'm going to put it as a grouped into one item like that. What we can do is we can have it as the third item, or we can say position equals or size equals, and it's just nice shorthand and it means it's clear what we're doing. So anyway, this is passing in the location of the current asteroid, and what we can do here is if the argument isn't given, then we'll just say position is none. Okay, so the x and y position, yes, you should be randomly generating it. However, you only want to be randomly generating it if you've not been told where to start in the first place. Otherwise, self.x should be the first value from position and self.y should be the second value from position. Okay, let's have a look at that. Whoops, I cannot spell position. Where did I do that? That was line 14. There we go. Shoot that, and then it gets smaller, and then it gets smaller, and then it vanishes. Awesome. Now, the asteroid shouldn't carry on where it's going, so I'll just do this bit of code, pick random direction, and that is just random.rand int 0 to 360, and we need to import the random module. There we go, let's have a look at that. There we go, we've got asteroids coming off in random directions. I say that's looking quite good. And then when I shoot one of those, I think I need to tweak the controls a bit. There we go. So I'm happy with that so far. What would be quite nice is a bit of an explosion when it dies, because at the moment it just vanishes. So I'd have that on the hit. You create 2 asteroids. And for a really simple explosion, what I'd have is when you shoot it, there's dots coming out in various directions. And those dots you can use something very similar to the bullet class. This is if you want to make it that bit more snazzy. So you want a shrapnel class, which has pretty much the same as we got here. Lifespan may want to be a bit shorter. Here it's drawing quite a big rectangle, maybe just 1 by 1 or 2 by 2, something quite small. And then that all looks fairly good. You don't need any of the collision, but you do need the other stuff. And then in the asteroid, you just do a for loop, and it loops round the circle. So it'll go from 0 to 360 in steps of however many you want, and then it will be calling the shrapnel on each of those steps and sending it out in that direction. So that should send just out a nice little star or burst of shrapnel. The shrapnel won't actually do anything, it will just give it a nice effect. So I shall leave that as an exercise to you. So what we've done, we've added 3 more parameters to the asteroid. So it has to have the game. It can have a size. If it doesn't get a size given, it will be size 2. We could easily change this to size 5 if we want to create more levels or more sizes of asteroids. It can have a position, so where it's going to spawn. And we've said if it doesn't have a position, then it will start at 300 by 300, which you should have changed. If it does have a position, then start from that position. So it will know to load the smaller asteroids where the larger asteroid died. I've made the direction random, which you should already have. I've loaded a different asteroid based on which size has been passed in. So usually 2, but otherwise whatever's passed in there. And then I've changed the hit so that if the size isn't the smallest, then it will create asteroids but make the size 1 less and put it in the current location. Then I've just added it to all sprites and asteroid sprites, and because the way we're doing it with sprites, with these groups, it just means it just works. Just by doing that, adding it to the right groups, it will update it, it will render it all accurately, the collisions still work, and it's all good. So that wasn't that much in code, but it's good to understand exactly what's happening. Try and get the asteroid splitting, Try and get it doing explosions and any other fancy bits which you can. Best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video.